So, hey guys, I was asked a question recently, and I'm actually looking at some really random shit online we're going to talk about, but I was asked a question about how do you become a good salesperson, or how do you sell if you really suck at selling? And the Asian in the room right now is like dying laughing, so he's like moving away from the camera, but in all seriousness, like that's something that a lot of people, I just wonder, like if they're not good salespeople, then they really want to know what they need to do to be able to sell more. And so I'm actually looking at this Fund Me campaign. This Fund Me campaign is ultimately from this one kid who is saying, I'm trying to start a business involving flipping cars, bikes, and other valuable items. I purchase something, fix it up, then sell it for a profit. Capital for me is very hard to come by right now as my bills are piling up and I can't afford to start this on my own. So I've had success in the past with this very thing, but stopped to pursue other lines of business. This is what I found myself to be best in, and I wish to make it a full-time source of income. So think about how incredibly idiotic this Fund Me campaign is. There is someone that is asking or selling himself to an audience saying, I was a fuck up, I went and tried to start a business, I couldn't start it, word shit, right? And so before I failed at this, because I wanted to pursue other things, so I didn't think I was good enough at it. But now I want you to fund me so I can make a lot of money. And in return, you're getting absolutely nothing from me. I mean, what the fuck, seriously? Like, this is exactly why, like, people don't understand the core relation beyond selling. These books that are in front of you are all a joke, by the way. Like, this is the whole idea. Like, you don't sell a book by cramming merchandise down people's throats. You don't sell a book, or you don't sell yourself, or you don't sell your product or your service by actually just putting it in front of people over and over and over and over. You sell people because you create value for them, and then they buy from you. Remember that no matter that you are a salesperson or not, regardless of your core, that you're very efficient at projecting or demonstrating what your skill sets are to people, there's one thing you need to remember about selling. People hate to be sold to, but they love to buy. So nobody likes to be sold to, but everybody loves to buy. So we all love buying shit. None of us just like someone just telling us buy this, buy this, buy this. We like believing that we're making our own decisions and purchasing things. And so the way we make these purchasing decisions, when something touches us emotionally or through the value it creates for us, we tend to exchange value in the sense of money for that, for whatever we receive, right? And so all these books, you know, like here, are just ultimately part of that idea that you can't cram a product really in front of people and allow, you know, just the product to sell itself, because it's not going to. And you also can't just tell people all about the features that the product has and why it's awesome, because it's not going to touch them, right? If your product is awesome, it's good for you. If that idiot on GoFundMe.com thought that it would be cool to ask for money so he could get rich off of other people funding his business, that's just ignorant, right? And like, he's not even doing a business that's going to help humanity or help other people. He's creating a business to make money for himself, and he's asking for money to start it. Do you see the stupidity in the request, right? So the idea is the only way you sell to people is you create value for them, and then they love to buy from you, and they love telling their friends about you, and they love actually using your product. So if you're not a great salesperson, the single best tool you have to sell to someone is ultimately creating a product that sells itself. If you create a great product and give it in the hands of people who have a use for it, they'll share it, they'll use it, and then they'll be willing to pay for it, which is why the app model works so well. Because you don't have to sell apps, you just have to make sure people find them, and then once people use the free version, there's an upsell version, right? Like the premium version, once you've enjoyed the free version. It's very hard these days to start with a paid app unless it's very niche and it's the only one on the market. So it's ultimately the best selling strategy I can give you, regardless of you're good at selling or not, is you can't cram products down people's throats. You can't sell them on the features of your product because it doesn't matter. What really matters is what value is going to be created for them. And when that value is created, it turns around and it gives them that need to trade money for that value they're going to receive. So regardless that you create that value through your selling proposition online, or that you do it in person, or that you're convincing person, I think that the best way to sell is to let people try the product, let people feel it, let people experience it, and focus on making that better rather than focusing on how to sell it. Because once people do it, they're just going to go through it and it's going to become viral in essence. Selling it will make you sell it faster if you're good at sales psychology and understanding how to actually make people understand the benefits of something. But at the end of the day, it's ultimately up to you to make sure that that interaction, every interaction with your product is perfect. So the product not only sells itself, but every effort you make only piggybacks on that. So the next question I received is, how do you make networking groups work? How do you make them effective, especially if you're part of BNI groups, Chamber of Commerce groups, and so on and so forth?